Hello, good people. Thank you for your patience, and welcome back. Let's see. The last time we did this, was it October, November?
I think it was one battle.
It was one battle, so
it was October.
A lot has happened since
that
then.
is not the most recent movie I've watched since then. I've watched other movies,
but it is our most recent episode.
We've watched new releases. We have not reviewed them, and for that we apologize. And we probably won't make all of them up. That's okay.
But I think we'll do a year-end review, maybe.
Yeah.
So
I think
we should do that.
A February release of 2025's best movies.
Yeah.
If y'all don't care, but
we can do a look ahead a little bit.
We can do a look ahead. Yeah. That'll be good.
Because this is a much 26 is probably going to be a much better year than 25 in my opinion.
Well, 2025 was so anticipated though. It was interesting.
Really? I thought I don't know.
We were
I was so hyped. I was so hyped for 2025.
I think like retrospectively, yeah, we were like really gassing it.
Oh.
I just think not all of them panned out.
Every year.
there were some disappointments, but there were some knockouts. I was looking at my list earlier. Good year, in my opinion. But
to recenter ourselves for the topic of today, this is a first in the sense that we're doing a Redux. In continuation with the Malick Mondays series, we're going in chronological order of his release. We are going to be discussing for the second time Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life from 2011. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Suffice to say, both Jacob and I, our thoughts have changed. Greatly.
Hopefully this won't be as heated as
no. I don't think it's going to be heated. And honestly, I've been listening back to. I listened to a bit of the podcast that we recorded initially, like on the drive over here, and I feel like an apology is due on my behalf. I was
we made it
definitely too harsh. And yeah, this second viewing was just it was wonderful.
I can see where you all are coming from.
Yeah,
though. Like I don't like
it's a hard movie to approach, and so I do want to talk about like almost a thought experiment of how folks should approach difficult movies like towards the back end of this, and like maybe prescribe some tools for that. But yeah, I don't know, Jacob.
So you re-listened to the episode?
Not all of it, but I re-listened to like 30 minutes of it, like maybe a couple weeks ago, and then I listened to 15 minutes of it today.
I'll be honest, I haven't listened to it in forever, so I don't remember how negative or positive I came off, but I would also like to issue an apology to our dear friend Mason, because I was so wrong. I was so wrong. And I think
I'm glad you liked it. I hope you didn't like it on my behalf. I hope you didn't go into it thinking I need to like it.
I genuinely loved it a second time, and I think really the big reason that kind of made me look at it with a different set of eyes and ears was us just doing the Malick Monday.
I was literally going to say that.
And seeing the growth.
Yes.
I think, sometimes when you go into a movie, you have this like idea in your head, and when we watched The Tree of Life, I was kind of taken aback, not in like a necessarily like bad way. I was just so like, what is this?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough.
It was so unique. I think it is one of the most like unique movies. It's avant-garde.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly pretty strange, but when you put it in context of Malick's career, especially with The Thin Red Line and The New World, it's like you can kind of see where he's getting to this narrative and visual point.
This is the pinnacle. This is like what the whole career was building to, and he was writing this for like 30 years. Like this was the like dream project, and I think you can tell.
And you can tell, like it just feels like so.
It's
massive.
Monumental, man. Yeah,
it is It feels very important. It just does like. It's just I think that's why like in a lot of film circles it's like, oh, Tree of Life, like like that it won the Palme d'Or, like it's a seminal movie.
And I think my greatest criticism of it my first go around, I basically said it was trying to do much in keeping that narrative of Jack and his family, and then also juxtaposing that with like the creation and that like Job verse. I think that's the movie's like strongest point, and it succeeds like nearly flawlessly. And if anything, I've shifted so much that I think the maybe one inhibition of the film is that the narrative almost might get in the way. That like I love the formalistic aspects of like the storytelling, and like I would say that the linearity maybe and the like still intelligible narrative is like I think it's great, but if anything was to be like pared back, I think he could almost like make it a little bit more like be a little bit more indulgent.
Well, just wait for Knight of Cups.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I was just floored. And the two things that really like stuck out to me is that, I mean, the scale of what he captures, from the cosmic down to the interpersonal of a family unit of, 5 people in a rural suburb of Texas. Like we're talking about
no one else has ever done it.
The creation of the universe. Like we literally see a galaxy made, and then we see like
dinosaurs.
Yeah. And then we're like, how do we cope with someone's passing? Like the passing of a family member.
Yeah.
And just knowing like where we came from as people.
And how that's all intertwined. Like it's all one story. Like
yes. It's literally the human condition in like 2 hours.
It's got to be one of the biggest swings in cinema ever, where he's just like, I'm going to make a movie about the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the riskiest, gutsiest thing you can do, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like the first time I was just like, I was a little confused about like the connection between like the cosmos and the creation, and be like, well, why does this hold that much importance to this family? But now it's like,
I was against it.
But now it's like, just put yourself in his shoes. I mean, it's his life. It's a look back on his life and his creation, his, like the tree of his life.
Yeah.
It's a very personal movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That I think that's what makes it so special. I think that you can like feel that it's like this was the life that he was living in Texas, and like he lost both of his brothers, one of them at a very young age. Like it's and he's like grappling with his faith and the cosmos and the world being created, and there's the Job story. There's so much. There really is. I mean, this was an impossible task for me to be like, let's watch a Malick movie and show you all the Tree of Life.
Yeah.
Like it was just that was never going to be a good idea.
But I'd say it's deeply personal, but sort of the cosmic aspect of it and how he chooses to tell the story almost makes it feel like an everyman situation, to where a lot of people can identify with characters or situations maybe, or there's just so many life experience, like, and that's credit to Lebesky, honestly. Like the things that he captures in this movie are so like, it's things that you would never think to put on film, but that it's life. Do you know what I mean? It's just
he's juxtaposing so many images. There's so many insert shots, just random, not random, but random.
It's childhood. I mean? It's like, lived experiences. Like I don't know. It's just like you recognize it. You're like, yes, that's what being alive is like.
And
and
like I don't know what lens or what camera he was using, but like there's this sense of like the dreamlike quality of the movie.
I think a lot of that's like the handheld stuff, at least for me, is kind of like how the camera moves.
Well, there's also like the whole Jessica Chastain, like where the butterfly comes, like all that was just natural. Like it's not planned. It's such a verite, like naturalistic approach to the cinematography.
And I love that because like I failed to like recognize this the first time, but it's like I think this is a movie that will get better with a person as the older you get. And I think I'm thinking back to my childhood memories. Like I know for you, Mason, like a lot of your enjoyment and attachment to the movie is just kind of being like, that was my childhood. That was my my thing. And for me personally, like obviously most of the stuff didn't really necessarily like relate, but growing up in the South, in the summers and like running around in the woods with friends and like those vignettes, I got it.
Yeah,
that's how the memories look in my head too. In a lot of ways.
I mean that's why Roger Ebert in his review is like, this is not a movie, this is like a prayer. You know what I mean? It's like almost poetry.
No, it's like a meditation.
It sounds almost silly, but
or a prayer is a great way to put it too. Like I was watching it, and honestly, the runtime felt like it was flying by, and especially the creation sequence, I was like glued to the screen, and it was because it wasn't like I wasn't approaching this from the regular narrative structure that I expect with most films. I was watching it like I was engaged at a level beyond what I usually experience because it doesn't adhere to the form in which like we're used to.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's
really
almost
gripping.
more engrossing. If you give yourself over to the movie, you're just like, let this wash over me, and it's very exciting because you have no idea where it's going. I mean, it's like the best films ever made. You just don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
Man. And the I mean, we can talk about the cinematography in Lubeski, but this I know we've said this before and for some of the other Malick films, but like they made a list, like they had a dogma of like, we will only shoot in natural light. We will not expose the negative. Like it is so many rules,
which is crazy. I mean, like,
I was lucky enough to watch this on a very big screen in a theater, and
talk about the screening.
Yeah, talk about that.
It's just special. Like, it's so like this is one of the only movies where I just almost get emotional every time. Like, there's so many moments throughout because it is very personal, but also just the images are so striking. It's incredible.
I forgot about the sort of mirror homage, where Jessica Chastain's like floating. Dude, my jaw dropped.
That was crazy.
There's so many just beautiful shots in this movie. And like you said something, it was either in our discussion of this or like in one of your Letterboxd reviews, but like it being the most visually striking movie of like the 21st century. And I mean, what is there to say, you know?
I mean, yeah, in my opinion, it definitely is.
It's like right up there if it's not one.
Yeah.
Something I thought of like during like the creation sequence, and I truly mean this is like a compliment, but it felt like being in a planetarium or like when I was growing up. I don't know if they do the same more, but the Tennessee Aquarium in Chattanooga, the IMAX is right next door, and usually your ticket would come with like a nature documentary. And I remember going to see like documentaries about like penguins and space and pandas and stuff, and it felt like the magic of that.
No, I mean, I think that's a good point. I think a lot of people make fun of Malick because this is a Nat Geo. I think we talked about this in the first episode where we were like, this feels like a Nat Geo episode.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about that is like, and a lot of people are like, oh, Knight of Cups like looks like a Prada commercial or like a cologne commercial and all this, and it's like those commercials look like that because of Malick and Lubeski. Like that's why Nat Geo docs are shot like that because this stuff came before it.
That's crazy.
That's true. Didn't think about that.
Interesting.
Which is it's very interesting.
Speaking of the Nat Geo stuff, I would like to apologize. I've come down on the dinos. All right.
I was gonna say we gotta talk about this because I feel like this was the biggest point of, and it like doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
like,
because this
but
second
I remember
time
you all being like, it looks awful. Which I will say, it's not like the best looking thing I've ever seen.
It wasn't that bad though.
It has. What?
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't.
I've seen worse.
For 2011, it was pretty passable.
Yeah.
It's passable, and it helps because we've talked about this. But Douglas Trumbull, the 2001: A Space Odyssey effects guy, he did this. He's done 3 movies. He's done 2001, Blade Runner, and Tree of Life.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I mean,
you definitely see the 2.
You know,
it's funny you mentioned how short it was because literally like one of the first thoughts when I finished the movie last night when I watched it, I was like, why did I care about the dinos the first time? That lasts for maybe like a minute.
It's short.
It is. And I think I remember, I can't remember if you all didn't like the creation sequence or not.
I think I
struggled. But it's so integral to the movie.
No, it was the context. And I was like, oh, well, it's fine. It's fine divorced from the context. But the context is everything.
Yeah,
that's why it's amazing.
It is Job.
That's
yeah.
It ties in, yes, exactly, to the Job verse, but it's juxtaposing human life with how we got here, like that,
with molecules and atoms,
like
and
the journey
sun,
from like nothing to everything, and that's like one of the most. I mean, it's just breathtaking, you know.
It's It's one of the boldest like filmmaking choices ever. The whole film. It's just incredibly like I will take the biggest swing of all time.
And I might be since you watched it today, refresh my mind, but I'm pretty sure like the dinosaurs is like kind of important because like in that scene like a dinosaur dies, and this other dinosaur is like basically like trying to comfort it, and then like moves on down the river, and then we were immediately given the brothers like running around a field, and Jack picks up a bone and he's like, I found a dinosaur bone.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I think that's a good point. I don't think I've ever thought about that.
Yeah.
But it's also like I think we talked about this in the original review, but it's very like, there's like Leviathans in the book of Job. You know what I mean? Like I think the verse, like it ties together with that verse. And it's a little bit 2001 where it's like,
oh, for sure.
This is us like learning, like turning a leaf.
And I read that differently, Jacob. I didn't really read that as comforting. I read that as like whatever that other dinosaur was a predator, and it saw that it was injured, and it like put its foot on the dinosaur's face and then like lifted it off. And that to me almost was like the first indication that like living creatures could express the grace side of nature and grace. And so sort of that virtue shining through in living beings, which I don't know if that's like that was just what I read.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think more so it's just like this is like the first in like experience of a living being experiencing grief or death.
Yeah. That also makes sense. I mean, the whole like grace versus nature thing. I mean that
works so well.
The film.
It works so well.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you talked about how and I just listened to this. Jacob and I both argued that like the childhood sequences were stronger, and you said thematically adolescence was so much more integral, and I 100% agree with you.
I don't even remember saying that.
No, because that's when Jack is leaning into nature, and that's when his dad's on the business trip, and you could almost see like they initially enjoy the freedom of like, because he runs the house with a heavy hand, and so they enjoy it. But then he starts getting like disrespectful, and when he returns, everything like resets, and it's almost like Malick is prescribing a balance of the two. He's not saying one is better than the other.
Yeah, it's like well, you can't. You have to have some nature. You have to have a sternness. You have, there has to be some type of order and leadership, but you cannot take that to an extreme.
But that is life, though. Like life, the world, it's nature and grace. Like you can see it in, like outside. You can see it everywhere.
And everything.
You can see it.
That's why I think that hurt, like Jessica Chastain's monologue, where it's like, at the beginning, it's like I grew up in, grace and nature and stuff. It's like, that's the movie. It's like that and Job. And the creation, and this one family is experiencing all three of those things. Like it's tied together. It's somehow tied together because there's like 15 editors on this thing.
I was going to ask about
how he does it.
When I was watching the credits, I saw that there were so many editors. What do you know about like how that was conducted? And I mean, because listen, I think the editing is incredible. I think it's one of the film's greatest strengths. But
yeah, I mean, it's just like a Malick special. He's like. He never thinks it should be one editor.
Did people get fired from the job?
I'm pretty sure this happened on Thin Red.
Okay.
And New World, and it's definitely happening on the film that he's making right now, Away the Wind, where it's just like he's just cycling through. And the news reports of like the new film, The Way of the Wind, where he's like asking actors to come in and edit. It's just like that sounds so stupid. Like there's no way that's gonna work, but somehow it probably will work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think that it does give, like, it's almost like we're getting different people's perspectives through their editing of the movie.
Yeah.
Like it almost doesn't feel like too cohesive in that way.
No.
You know what I mean?
It felt like
it is cohesive, but it's not like this is a singular vision of a singular person. Like it feels like there's a lot of shared experiences in the movie, and I think a lot of that comes from the editing.
I feel like the editing felt like pretty uniform, though. I would
agree.
I didn't feel like there was a lot of like differing editing like styles.
True.
Or
yeah.
something.
I mean, I don't know.
I
mean, I wish
made
I
it
could.
work somehow.
I have no idea how he does it, dude.
Yeah.
You can certainly, I mean, if there are like individual voices on the micro scale, I think you could probably see it. But I'd agree with Jacob that like it does seem almost like one vision when you take a step back, because I think the directional vision is so clear that it
I mean,
makes
that's
sense.
true. That's true. That is
So-
true. Yeah, I mean, it's Malick's movie, and I mean, obviously his fingerprints are all over it,
Yeah.
and it's very auteur driven. Like it has to be.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? This movie it crumbles if it's not Malick. You know what I mean? If it doesn't have like a vision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to backtrack. Like I said, I might have said this earlier. I'm not quite sure what I said in the first review, but I think that the narrative is like incredibly strong. And it's interesting. I think we talked about this on another episode where like Sean Penn, I guess, had creative differences with Terrence Malick, where he felt like Malick wasn't leaning into the script enough because he felt like it was like a super good script. But it's like, honestly, these things don't really need to be like, given any more words. I feel like they're doing enough with the image and the few lines of narration and dialogue that are there. I'm sure that like the written dialogue and like things exact, pages in the script are beautiful too, but like this is excellent.
It's towing the line. It's a perfect balance of like, oh, that's an amazing piece of dialogue, and here's 5 minutes without a single line.
Yeah.
And it just feels natural. Like, again, I don't know how he pulled that off, but it's such a good balance of narrative and just like avant-garde images.
Yeah. I love the scene where the dad and Jack, they're like on a afternoon stroll, they're going down the road, and he's like lamenting to him where he's saying, I wish, I wanted to be a musician and I didn't do that. I want to be like an inventor, and I didn't do that. You three are the best thing that's happened to me, and if there's any advice you take from me is that, be what you want to be. And it's like, it's like a rare
like,
moment of
it's very it's very touching.
It's like a rare,
and it's like this is such like a bad person, and not a bad person, but just conducting himself in the wrong way. But he has to have some nature to himself. That's almost kind of the father's role, but it's
and I also love
he's not a bad person. You know what I mean? This isn't Marty Supreme.
Yeah. But that's like, that's like a heartwarming dialogue exchange, I felt. And then there's like another great like tense dialogue exchange where I don't think it's like the big fight at dinner, but it's like one of the exchanges at dinner where he yells at them for having their elbows on the table, and he's then he like Jack starts a narration where he's like he's a walking contradiction because he does everything
Keeps his elbows on the table.
He keeps his elbows on the table. He does everything he tells us not to do.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I found myself cringing like at a lot of just how Jack's father conducted himself and like how he approached like parenting his kids. But I don't remember like that he's epitomizing grace and like just sort of divorcing my opinion of that character from like what I think he should be doing, and realizing that like contextually it's reinforcing the themes and it fits like very well.
Yeah.
And I love all like he was gonna be a piano player and he likes all of this amazing classical music, and it's like he obviously has a lot of regrets. You know what I mean? And he's frustrated, and it feels like nothing's going for him. He can't get any of the inventions done or anything. But I mean, that's not an excuse. Like he's still like a really bad parent. But
he has a very artistic nature.
I like all like the music stuff.
Yeah.
What?
He has a very artistic nature. Like so there is like
but he can't like it feels like there's no outlet for him to like
express it.
Take that out on. But
I just love the sequences with Jack and his younger brother. I think those are so touching.
I do still like that. That's funny that you all were like the like child scenes are the best, and I was like, no, this is the best, because I would say now that the child scenes maybe are the best. Maybe not of the whole film, but I mean, there's like just when the kid is like first born, and then
when
the
he's first looking
kid
to
is first born.
that first the shot when like Brad Pitt's holding one of the kids and like the baby's taking some of its first steps. I mean, it's just incredible stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and the music, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
beautiful.
it's great.
It's insane.
It's incredible. Yeah. Speaking of Marty Supreme, the production designer Jack Fisk,
yeah,
the legendary production designer. I mean, it feels very like 1950 whatever, Texas. You know what I mean? What is it? 1950s?
Yeah.
Probably so. Yeah.
60s.
Yeah, I think it's 50s.
I think it's 50s.
Yeah.
But it kind of just feels like he's assembling the Avengers. You know, like the technical Avengers, where it's just like, I will have the best production designer, I will have the best cinematographer, I will have the best, everything.
But it's the situation where like it just shows tremendous vision, because it was kind of before those individuals had that sort of weight to their names, which is just a testament to Malick's like vision and identifying great talent. Do you know what I mean?
I think that was definitely the case for it. He was definitely like
ahead of the curve.
Lubeski's like, he was
the
one that propped up.
Yeah, he was his biggest supporter. Yeah.
Jack Fisk had some other things, but
for sure.
Yeah, Jack Fisk had worked with Lynch, but I mean, still, like it's funny because like all these guys are like kind of known for this movie.
Yeah,
like I feel like Lubeski is like, yeah, he worked on The Revenant and all, but it's like, dude, he did The Tree of Life, and then it's like, oh, he did The Tree of Life. Like that is some like you get on any sort of like visual cinematography page on Instagram, and a lot of the pictures are going to be Tree of Life.
Yeah,
you see it all the time because it's just like gobsmacking visuals. It's just unbelievable. And the creation sequence, like a lot of that is like the can you hear the music sequence in Oppenheimer. I always think of that where it's just like practical effects, and it just looks so real.
It looked amazing.
I still don't know how he did a lot of that.
I have no idea.
Because the dinosaurs do look, I mean, the dinosaurs are like, all right, that's a little CGI. It's not bad, but it doesn't look amazing. But like everything else is like, kind of looks incredible.
Yeah.
Like
it's also just like so like clear, but not in like a 4K, 8K kind of way, like real life. It still has
I know what you mean.
It still has that film look, and it just looks like so detailed.
Every time I pop in the Blu-ray, I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Even
there is not a bad image in the entire film, dude. The lighting is incredible.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know how they did that.
Even just watching it on streaming is still just incredible.
Do not watch this on your phone, guys.
Yeah.
No.
That one shot, the one that's sticking in my mind right now is that like attic space with the sort of paneled wood and the light coming through.
Yeah, it's like almost
I don't know
Lynchian.
how he shot that. I have no idea.
Optical.
Yeah, where it's like the really tall guy. It makes me think of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I think,
and then like the curtain
the
shots. I mean, just there's this one shot where they like wrap someone's face in curtains, and I mean, it's just like it's incredible. Yeah. There's so many like the visuals are just astounding.
I love the spiral stained glass.
Oh
thing.
yeah, that's pretty early on in the film.
Yeah, that's like near the
beginning. Yeah.
That's special.
All the church stuff, like all the. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen it in a little bit, but literally any scene is like amazing.
Perfect. Yeah.
Like visually, it's just like nectar. You know? It's addicting.
I don't think we've mentioned like the scenes with Sean Penn as an adult, which are not many, but I like that that's included because it's like he's so far detached from that environment now. Like he works at this like almost comically like clean office where he's like out in the open and like in this glass house, and he
rural versus like
city, and he's just like grappling with it like while at work, which like who hasn't had to grapple with something major in their life like while they're just at work. You know?
Yeah.
I think the decision to like how Malick both presents grief in the film and how he chooses through the editing to disclose that to the audience is super interesting, because I think the first sort of hint we get at that is the letter that Jessica Chastain receives, and then you see Brad Pitt get a phone call when he's like on the tarmac.
Good use of sound there, where it's just like,
dude, I was gonna say the sound editing in the movie is incredible. It's amazing.
No, it is.
Yeah,
it is. It's amazing.
But then it cuts to Sean Penn present day, and he's like in his bed, and then his wife is doing something, and he lights like the single candle, and you're like, oh man, like it must be like the anniversary. And it's so interesting. Like, I guess immediately it conjures sort of that, like that pain has equal weight, even like years later.
Yeah.
You know, when he's like
yeah, it's like Tom
it.
heals wounds, but it's not
really.
Gonna heal all
yeah,
wounds.
no.
Yeah.
It's like.
And there's
I mean, that's devastating, and I'm sure that Malick could still feel that. I think his, I know one of his brothers died like really young, and obviously it looked like he had internalized that a lot, and he needed to make something to like just understand the process of grief and like what happens after.
Now,
like all like all the beach shots and stuff where it's like almost heaven, like weird. They're like at Arches, like National Park, and like all those scenes are like incredible.
Speaking of Arches, like that shot of like the door frame in the it's like Rocky. This is like sort of that sequence.
Oh yeah,
the threshold.
Oh man,
when his mom walked through it first, dude, that last 15-minute sequence, like I was actually in tears. Like it was that beautiful. Like, and
there's just so many.
Sean Penn meeting his relatives at different ages. That's really what got me. Is like when he remembers them. Like,
what an incredible idea, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such an interesting way of like displaying like some sort of afterlife or also, and that. I mean, that's also just kind of like grief incarnate, right? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and also just the reunion of like, the individual souls finding the people they spent life on Earth with. It's just like, it's powerful stuff, man. It's really beautiful.
There's multiple moments where I like will tear up.
Yeah.
I really liked the like, when Jack is like young and he's just like. He's going through that time that you were talking about where it's like very like Romans 8 where it's like the things I want to do I don't do, the things that I don't want to do I do, and he's at a weird stage and he's like praying and he's like confused and he wants to act out but he knows it's not right, and there's a lot of like moral like questions stuff.
You see, and like Malick shows us the first indications of like him experiencing regret or guilt, and it's like so interesting and like so deeply human, and like that's just something that like we've all experienced, that you could think back into your past, like into your childhood of moments where you did something and you felt to your core, I should have done that, and it still sticks with you, and
I mean it's just like there's almost like a moral absolute where you're just like, this is not good.
Yeah.
There's just something telling me that this is, good or bad. I can't believe he did all this in one film.
Yeah. Yeah. it's so like the stuff he captures is so profound. It's like simple. It's very simple. The scale, I mean, is obviously huge.
It's like you were saying, like I can relate to it because it's very like I had two brothers growing up in the South, but it's like deeply relatable to basically every person on this earth because it's like grief, childhood struggles, like being a good parent, like even like I could see like being a grown up and being like looking at Jessica Chastain and Brad Pitt's relationship.
This movie's gonna hit different with kids, I bet.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Yeah. No, Jacob, I think you made a good point that like this will not only get better with successive viewings, but I think just the way it ages as we gain more life experience is going to be like really exciting, I think.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's not It's just, I mean, it's always going to be visually pleasing, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is going to in 30 years it's going to be like, oh, this just kind of has dated itself. It's always going to be in the pantheon.
It's
Yeah.
always
You know?
it's always going to live with you.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one of the few. It's one of the few movies like that. It's like 2001. You know what I mean? Like I can't name a ton of movies where it's like this will always look incredible. This is deeply relatable, and there's like narrative and visual elements that are like very rich and vibrant.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a special movie. One of one. Like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One.
Gotta shout out the final.
He's goated.
Gotta shout out the final shot of the bridge, crossing over to the other side.
Oh, dude, I did that. That completely went over my head.
Yep. That I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the Criterion in the Criterion packet. You know, like every Criterion comes with a packet. It's I think it's Ebert, like writing a review or something, and he talks about the last image, and like he's like, this is one of the best last images of any movie I've ever seen.
True that. Do we know?
Like,
do we know what bridge that is?
bridge that there's like so much subtext that you could go with the bridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very, very, very.
Man,
special.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh, I wonder where that is. The movie ended. Because I was basking in like what's shown before, and then it's just the bridge. I was like, interesting.
No, sure. Well, it's very
click.
interesting that he goes back to current day, and it's like shows a couple cities, like city buildings, and then bridge.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's an interesting decision to end it in the current day and like in a city atmosphere.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Oh no, I agree.
Because it gets us back to like where we are today. It's like
Yeah.
showing us all that stuff, and it's like, and we're back. You know.
And I feel like the bridge is like almost like there's like this feeling of reunion, obviously.
Yep.
With that afterlife scene, and that bridge is maybe just meant to kind of be like, you know, we're here in the now, but that bridge in the distance, you'll get to that eventually.
Interesting.
There's always gonna be a bridge.
I thought when I think about it, it almost seems like life is the liminal space. Do you know what I mean? And like the before and the after are the destinations,
too,
and that like this is the bridge. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
It's all connected.
Yeah, it is all connected.
I'm very excited to do. Well, I guess next is not Night of Cup. Next is To the Wonder. But
How's that? Or like, what do you think about To the Wonder? Do you
Is
enjoy
that
that
the
one?
one with Ben Affleck?
I think it's incredible. Like
Okay.
I've only seen it once. I've only seen it the one time. But I think it's To the Wonder, Night of Cups, Song to Song. I think out of that trilogy, To the Wonder might be second behind Night of Cups. I do really like Song to Song, but To the Wonder is much more like romance, like relationship.
Okay.
Kind of.
Cool.
Sounds good.
But that, I mean, it's like a year after this.
I'm game for
Like
whatever.
it
truly.
was very like soon after this. It's not like he took a long. It's like the first time ever that he was like, you know what, I made Tree of Life. Let me make another movie like right now.
Nah, late style Malick has my cosign. I'm on board for whatever.
It'll be
whatever he's
interesting.
got.
It's again, it's no Tree of Life, but I'll be
Sure.
very interested to see what you all think.
Yeah.
because it's so. I mean, it's connected with like Days of Heaven and Badlands, but it's just also so different.
Yeah.
You could tell that he had a style, and he was like, me and Lubeski, we're gonna go to work. You know, which is interesting.
Do we know if Lubeski's working on The Way of the Wind? Is that a detail we know about?
I feel like he's not, but
Who is the DP if it's not him?
Did Lubeski do a what's that one? Hidden Life?
A Hidden Life?
Yeah.
I don't think he did a Hidden Life either.
Okay.
The way I just looked it up in IMDb, it's not coming up.
Guess we don't know.
Let me look
Did
up
you see
Terrence
that?
Malick.
Did you see that rumor that apparently there's a scene where Jesus smokes pot in the Way of the Wind?
Yeah, I
Are
saw
you
that,
serious?
Yeah.
Wait, is this a contemporary setting?
No,
No.
dude. I actually I can't even say no because I have no idea what the movie. Like it could very well be a Tree of Life situation where
Yeah.
it's just like so much is going on. You know what I mean?
Interesting. I mean, this is kind of like grim, but I just hope it's not one of those situations where it's like a posthumous. Do we release it? Do we not? Because I know Malick's getting up there. I just hope.
No, I know he really is getting up there, and it doesn't like it. I don't know, man. We're about in that news cycle where it's like Cannes is in May. Like, here we go. Is it going to randomly play at Cannes? Because that's how all of his movies kind of are. Like, there's like no announcement. It's just like, oh, there's a Terrence Malick movie at Cannes this year. It could happen any year, but it just feels like it's not going to. I don't know. Let's see. Cast. That is a long cast, dude. Yeah, the cinematographer is. Okay. He was camera and electrical on Tree of Life, and he did A Hidden Life.
Cool.
So, he obviously knows.
Still rolling with the same
very
crew.
well. And he was the camera operator on Song to Song, and Night of Cups. So
cool. Well, I hope we get it this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
But probably not.
Yeah, I'm not. At this point, I'm just kind of assuming that we're not, and if we are, I'm like going to be very excited. But I'm not getting my hopes up anymore because
it's the GT.
There was that scoop. There was that like World of Real scoop where it was like it's coming out this year.
Yeah,
like they were like it's releasing in a month, and then it was just like nowhere to be seen.
It's funny. The production designer on Way of the Wind was the art director for Talented Mr. Ripley.
Oh my god!
He also worked on Life Aquatic,
back,
Gangs of New York, and Asteroid City.
Game recognized game.
Game recognized. I know you wanted to. I know Ethan. You talked about
good
challenging
catch.
movies.
Thank you for catching my train of thought. Okay.
Yes.
For our listeners.
Check that. Just
sure. Let's make sure we're still recording. I think we're good though.
Because this could be an interesting conversation.
For our listeners,
I'm curious where we're gonna go.
I would ask, for watching a challenging film for the first time, what are some considerations or steps, like maybe thought processes that you should take as you're watching something to help you appreciate? Because it's not I don't adhere to a formula, but just like what are some things to keep in mind? Like,
I mean, I would think the most important thing, you should be doing this with anything, but certainly for like very demanding, challenging movies is like you got to turn your phone off and put it in a different room. Like you just can't have the distraction, because if you're like, oh, this is a little challenging, let me get my phone, then you will just give up. Mm-hmm. You will give up and you'll never get through it. I've done that many times.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that, like, I don't know. I mean, there's probably not a great answer to this, but I think you really have to try to go in with like no preconceived notions and just really let it wash over you. And I try to be good about, like, I'm 40 minutes into a movie and I'm like, I hate this, but I'm just still trying to give it a chance, because it can always turn around.
Yeah.
It can always, like, come back and be like, oh, it all makes sense. It all clicks now. But there's so many movies that I've watched where I've been like, this sucks, and I'll come back 4 years later and I'm like, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. You're just sometimes not in, the right place, or you haven't seen the right movies before to like understand the style or what the director's going for. Yeah. Because I feel like that's probably what happened with you all with Tree of Life.
Yeah.
You're just like,
absolutely,
you had no idea what Malick's work was like.
Precisely. Yeah. Also, I don't know. It's just, I think I was just too critical and condescending in my initial review, but I think
that was still one of the best conversations we had, though. So it turned out
lack
good.
of perspective is a big one, and I think context of an artist's sort of trajectory of how they got to where they are when they're making that is important.
But it's very challenging, because like you look at someone like Godard, he's got like 200 films,
sure,
and it's just like, where do I start? Because sometimes the best starting point is not at the beginning of their film.
No, yeah,
So sometimes you gotta like look it up, or try to have someone tell you like, oh, this is a good starting point.
Yeah.
But even like with someone like Malick, like I'm still kind of unsure sometimes of like where
to start,
when or where to tell people to start.
Because
he kind of has 3 stages.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe something to keep in mind as well is like, there's this stigma when showing people movies or just picking movies for other people, where it's like, well, they're a teenager, they're a kid, they wouldn't like this, and that's fair. But like, there's a lot of movies that I love that I know for a fact I would not have liked as a teenager. So I think you need to keep that as like, well, I might not like this at 23, but I might love this at 43, and I'm willing to.
That's very true. That's very true.
I'm willing to just like live with it for a little bit and revisit it later.
I was just watching a podcast about, I mean, I don't know if we're gonna do a Amari Supreme episode, but I was listening to Amari Supreme episode, and they had Josh Safdie, and he was talking about like he's had 2 kids since Uncut Gems, and then Amari Supreme, and it's like that really brings the end of that movie together. The people were both like new parents, and they were like, if you are a parent, you will see this film in a different light. Like, you might love it, you might hate it, whatever you think of the movie, like, you will think of this movie in a different way when you have kids. So there's movies like that where it's just like, you're going to understand it at a deeper level if you have more experiences or like have kids or, you know.
Sure.
So that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, like, in terms of challenging movies, you know, just like, definitely what I would co-sign everything Mason said, just like distractions off and like just, you know, trying to give it an open shot and actually finishing the movie. And what helps for me is like before I watch it, doing a little research about the director or the movie beforehand. Today, before we recorded this, I watched the Charlie Kaufman movie, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. And
I saw that.
I watched that because co-host and friend of the pod, Heath, he hates that movie. And he wanted me to watch it. And I actually really liked it, but that's because I know what Charlie Kaufman's directing style is, and I was prepared to be given something that was like really challenging and just way out there. And
I would encourage people to like, you don't cannonball into the water, dip your toes into the water, guys. Like, let's not start with Gene Dealman and Salt and Tango. You know what I mean? Like that's not going to go over well with anyone.
You can ask Mason how it went.
What now?
I said you could ask Mason how it went. He did the grunt work. Actually, Mason, you're probably like the blueprint on like how to approach. I mean, if anybody's to build an instruction manual on how to approach.
There's always I mean, I've thought about doing. I guess I kind of have done that in the past, but you know, you got to start out with like your somewhat weird cult classics, like watch your Eraserheads, watch your whatevers, and then like you can really get into like no one has ever heard of this director. Like, people can watch whatever they want to watch, but if you're like, you know what, I'm gonna watch Sot and Tongo today, I'm gonna sit down for 9 hours without my phone, no distractions, like there's just no way like you're gonna like that if you haven't seen like the other Bellator movies, or you know, at least some other longer challenging movies. But that is like the peak. That is the mountaintop. Like, that example is like, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the thing that oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I haven't even seen Salt and Tongo yet.
Yeah.
That's like notoriously like impossible to watch.
I think the thing that I hear from a lot of folks most commonly is like, I didn't understand it. In relation to something that's like a little bit more challenging, vague, abstract, formalistic. Certainly like when you get into folks stumbling upon a Lynch movie or like Kiarostami. I remember this came up on my For You page. It was people, like Iranian people, walking out of the theater after Taste of Cherry had shown. And some people were like, it was brilliant, I loved it. And they're like, it was great, but the ending, like, it was terrible. And then some people were just like, it was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're always gonna have different opinions, but I also think like this might sound bad. I don't want this to come out as harsh because this impacted me. It still impacts me. There's just so much levels of like media literacy that like you're going to hit at different stages of life. Like,
that's a good
I remember
point.
I'm pretty sure during COVID in 2020, I watched First Cow, which is a Kelly Reichardt film, and I didn't know like anything about film. And I just looked up a list of like Oscar contenders or whatever. So I was like, I want to watch films. And I watched First Cow. I was like, this has to be the worst film I've ever seen. This doesn't make any sense. This is like, I just didn't understand what was going on. And now I'm like, you know, I actually just watched The Mastermind the other day. And it's like, I understand Kelly Reichardt. You know what I mean? Like, if I went back and watched that film, I would probably be like, oh, this is actually really good. And even if I didn't like it, I would still like understand it probably. So you definitely go through, like, the more movies you watch, the more like literacy you will have like on the art form. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like you have to see everything to like understand a film, but it does help. Definitely like certain directors.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exposure is a huge part, I'd say. And I'd also encourage like a big thing is like cross media. You know, like read books, listen to music, look at visual art.
There's so much. I mean, dude, I've read so many articles about how there's so much Dostoevsky in the Tree of Life. There's so much like Saint Augustine's Confessions.
Yeah.
There's so much religious history in this movie, and you know that is only going to further your appreciation for the movie if you know about, you know, if you've read Crime and Punishment or whatever. Like, that's a very good point. Good point.
And like allegory is a big tenet of a lot of fiction. A lot of people draw from stories that are not like they're not being told for the first time. They're just being sort of presented in a new way, and it helps to be familiar with like sort of a canonical set of stories and characters.
I think one of the most important things to let go of. I've talked to a lot of people about this, and this is just kind of hard because like if you're coming to movies for this purpose, then like that's fine, you can do that. But even like with Marty Supreme, I've talked to a lot of people, and they're like, "Well, I came to be entertained, and I wasn't entertained." Which that doesn't make any sense with Marty for me. But like a lot of people go to movies to be entertained, and sometimes
that's not.
You gotta let that go. Like you're never gonna be able to get through a lot of challenging films if you're just like, I'm not constantly stimulated or engrossed. You know what I mean?
I would also say, like, in terms of living with challenging movies, is just like figuring out maybe what works for you personally. Because this was a connection I made, but like two of the greatest filmmakers we think of, right? Orson Welles and John Carpenter. Orson Welles has been he was on the record multiple times saying that if you want to make good movies, you like don't quit binging movies, stop watching movies, and just go out in the real world. He's like, you're never going to make a good movie if you just sit inside and watch movies all day. And then I watched a video where it's like John Carpenter he hates Cronenberg. He hates like any modern movie. And he's like, because it's not entertaining. He's like, movies are meant to be entertaining. And when they do, he's like, I hate Robert Altman because I don't understand the dialogue. I don't understand the stories. That's stupid. I want to be entertained. But we consider them like, you know, great filmmakers, and they know their stuff. So just like figuring out what's your speed, I guess.
Yeah. And that is like one of my biggest proponents for movies like One Battle After Another. Because you can show people One Battle After Another, and they can be like, wow, that's got Leo. That was really entertaining and fun. But someone else could watch it and be like, that is the most meaningful movie. Like, there's so much subtext. Like, it's rare to get a movie like that. You know what I mean?
And speaking of like living with movies, that movie's going to hit different if you're a parent.
Exactly. There's a lot of movies like that this year, I feel like, where it's just like, if you're a parent, it's like, dude, sentimental value.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, that would hit different if you're a parent, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe for worse reasons, but yeah, I think it's, I mean, that's a good point.
Okay. To piggyback off of this, Werner Herzog has sort of his own quote where he encourages like aspiring filmmakers, like how to earn money for their first films. So not necessarily how to direct, but like how to fund their films. He said, earn money to finance your first films, but don't earn it with clerical works in an office. Go out and work as a bouncer in a sex club. Work as a warden in a lunatic asylum. Go out to a cattle ranch and learn how to milk a cow. Earn money that way in real life.
That's
a lot of directors just they're like, just do life. Like that's how you understand art. That's how you
do life. And I know a lot of critics that are like, you just have to read so much. You have to know so much about the world to be critical of movies. Like you need to know about like economies and finance systems and geopolitical ideas. And, you know, and that's like impossible to know everything.
Sure.
But like you do. I mean, that would certainly help your viewing experience if you know a lot about. And like in the case of like Tree of Life, like if you know a bunch of like religious history or you know you've read the Bible, that will probably help.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard sometimes because, you know, if I watch like a movie like set in the East, for example, you know, like, I don't know, like a Park Chan-wook movie or something, like sometimes those things is like, those ideas like are harder to understand for us.
As a Westerner, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, it's almost like an impossible challenge because you're never going to like go into every movie and be like, I understand that. But there's definitely ways to like help. And I think you just got the most important thing, no distractions. You got to let it wash over you. You have to be focused and like actually watch the movie because there's so many people that are just second screening stuff. Yeah. And they're like, man, this is challenging. Let me get on my phone. You know, it's like you're not going to get anything from that.
Yeah.
A lot of people love to rewatch too. They love to rewatch their comfort stuff, which I'm not going to knock because like,
you know, it's fine. But you know, if you want, you know, if you want more experiences, then watch more films.
Yeah, and it is like low key, it's work. Because you don't know what you're getting into. You don't know if you're gonna like it. You're investing time and energy in like digesting this new material, and like it requires brain power, and like it's not necessarily fun.
But. Yeah, and you'll go through stages. We've all been through this where it's just like I want to watch everything, and then like I've been in a long stage where it's just like I'm keeping up with stuff, I'm watching some stuff, but I'm not like going crazy. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to watch 3 or 4 films a day.
No.
You do not have to do that, guys. Like if you have time and you want to, that's great. But
well, it's just like
it's just like reason to do that.
Anything else, like if you listen to too much music, you're eventually going to get ear fatigue, and
you get burned out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I also think I think I have a screenshot of like something in my phone, but it's like the 7 sins of cinema or whatever, and it was like you don't watch black and white, you don't watch silent films, you don't watch anything, like you don't watch any foreign films, no subtitles. Like you're gonna have to give yourself, if you're not used to that kind of stuff, you have to give yourself over to black and white films, or you're going to miss so much stuff. You've got to give yourself over to movies with subtitles, or you're not going to have any like international cinema.
Like half of Maestro's in black and white, so I mean,
you're not
going
to understand Maestro. If you don't.
Are there any foreign languages in Maestro? I can't even remember.
Maybe German. I don't know. You might, I'm sure.
Probably not.
French,
There's maybe like a line or two. But.
Well, Bong Joon-ho said in his Oscar speech for Parasite, he's like, if you get over the 1 centimeter tall barrier of subtitles, you'll watch so many more amazing movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta, because I do think that like following your preferences are good, but at some point you also just have to be like, let me watch something way out there. And I also think that it's fun sometimes. I like to do a lot of research. I like to look at the Letterboxd score. Sometimes it's just fun to get on something and click watch.
Yeah.
And you have no prior knowledge, and you have no preconceived notions. You don't know what the Letterboxd score is. You don't know what anyone else thinks about it. You just watch it. That is fun.
My last day of class, 2 of my friends texted me. They're like, "Do you want to go see Portrait of a Lady on Fire?" I was like, "Sure." I had no idea what it was about. Went in, watched it, and to your point, 30 minutes in, I was like, I don't know if I like this, and I was like, amazing. Loved it.
I mean, there's so many movies where
you gotta stick with it.
30 or 40
you gotta
minute
stick
mark.
with it.
Wait, what now?
You gotta stick with it. Yeah, just to your point.
You gotta stick with it. You'll be 34 minutes in. You'll just be like, it's fine. You know, and you could give up. You could start scrolling on Instagram, but that's not going to do you any good.
No. Yeah. Gotta see it through.
Yep. You gotta see it through.
Well, I think that is a
good place.
A good stopping place. We covered a lot of bases. We discussed a film for the second time. Talked about the Tree of Life. Made another dent into our Malick Mondays progression
series.
And then we had a nice little discussion about how to approach some more difficult movies. A
great episode, if I do say so myself.
Yes, we did our thing. Not to toot our own horn.
We've redeemed ourselves.
Yeah.
We made it worth the 3-month wait.
Yeah, we tirelessly planned and rehearsed this episode for the 3 months that we were gone, and
the people have been wanting a good Tree of Life review for 2 years.
Yes,
because they've been upset the last episode.
It was not good enough. This is unacceptable. In 2 years' time, I need another one. More complimentary.
What?
More complimentary. That's what they're saying. And here we present it to you, our listeners.
All right.
Yep. Next up is going to be Javier Bardem, Rachel McAdams, and Ben Affleck. Into the Wonder.
Ah, okay. Man, that's a great cast.
Yep. Javier. Well, no, I'm just not gonna tell you anything.
Okay.
Go in blind.
Yeah.
Cool.
Don't all the rest of A Hidden Life. I think A Hidden Life score is actually higher than Tree of Life, but the Love trilogy, the 3 next ones, dude, I'm pretty sure they're like all 3.0 or lower.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Like their scores on Letterboxd are really bad, and people really dislike them.
Well, I'll be very.
I'm
curious.
excited.
Some people
thrilled.
love them, dude.
Yeah.
I know I follow so many critics on Letterboxd that are like, these are all 10s, which I don't even think I'm there, but
yeah.
they're it's divisive, which is always fun.
I love divisive. Divisive is good.
It'll be good convo.
That's why Maestro is the greatest. Ultimate divisive.
Yeah. Oh man.
So To the Wonder, and then we'll do a 2025 wrapped.
Yeah.
Yep. Look ahead to 2026.
Yeah.
The Odyssey.
Oh man,
It is
that's
the
crazy.
event of the year.
Odyssey and Tom Cruise in Digger. Yeah.
And a Steven Spielberg movie. Dude, there's a lot this year. And, dude, there's a Greta Gerwig movie. I mean, no one is talking about Narnia.
The Narnia.
I'm very interested to see what
that is exciting. Like,
that is exciting.
say what you want about.
I'm a little worried,
for
but
second
I'm
IP,
very interested to see what
back-to-back IP movies is kind of like a bummer, but
well, you know that she's doing The Magician's Nephew, which is like the prequel. It's the
first one. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where
sold.
they
I'm
the
sold.
middle of the book is like the creation of Narnia. So it's like
that's cool.
it's very interesting. And it's a Netflix movie, but it's getting an IMAX release for like 2 or 3 weeks. So
I'm intrigued.
that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
So does someone want to see us out?
Mason, it's you.
you
You
take
got
it
to do
away,
it. This
man.
is yours.
Terrence Malick, I love you. Please come see me. Roll that outro music.
Yes. Perfect.